I'd like to discuss how to overcome imposter syndrome. You may be familiar with that particular term. Another way is to describe it as a sense of self-esteem issues. For all the years I've been helping people to discover how to feel better about themselves, this is one of the biggest symptoms of people really restricting themselves from moving on in their lives. Whether it's getting a new job, whether it's writing that book, feeling like everybody else around you in life is doing a better job of it than you are. Well, I can assure you that you are by no means alone. In fact, the imposter syndrome is such a big gig. It's a very, I would say, a quiet, silent, private pain that a lot of people suffer from. And I'd like you to know that if it's something that you resonate with, like, for example, I feel like I'm faking it till I make it kind of thing, is that this is a learned behavior. That's the good news. My name's Georgia, and I am the emotional wellbeing expert. And I've been helping people for over 27 years really understand what underpins their self-esteem, their anxiety, things that hold them back from being amazing. And I want you to know that you're one of those people, because the imposter syndrome comes in all different shapes and sizes. It comes in from very different professional worlds. It also can creep into your personal world, like the mum at the school gates, right? Who's got lots of anxiety and feels like everybody's smarter than her, or maybe earns more money, or maybe an older mum like myself. All of these things come into play where there's a part of you that is having this inner language, an inner conversation that makes you feel less than others. And that's really what the imposter syndrome is all about. And I often say to people, if you could just be a fly on the wall in my clinic moments, you would realize that your thinking is what a lot of other people are thinking too. And that the imposter syndrome is just a symptom of not feeling good enough, of not feeling valued enough by yourself, okay? Because the most successful person on this planet doesn't necessarily feel good on the inside. And that is what is really important. The imposter syndrome is what's going on the inside that is reflecting on the outside. I'm going to give you a really good example because I specialize in self-esteem. I have a great program called Believing in You, but I also have a great program about alcohol reduction called the 7 Days to Drink Less. And I'm going to give an example of a client of mine, a very successful CEO of a large British company who came to see me in my London clinic. And he came to see me, great, fun, charismatic guy, wonderful sense of humor. And he told me that what he would do, he would look at his diary for the day that his assistant had created for him, and instant anxiety would come up. I'd say, what was that anxiety about? He said, well, Georgia, I'm a guy from the north of England. I come from a poor coal mining town. And you know what? Nobody in my town or my family have ever got to where I am now. I'm like, okay, tell me more. He said, well, I kind of feel like if everybody really knew that I don't have a degree, I don't have an MBA, and I am paid a lot of money. But now I'm employing people who do have degrees, who have some of financial background or some marketing tools. He said, I used to sweep the floor of this company. Ah, I said, so you've got the imposter syndrome. He goes, what's that? I said, that is when you feel everybody's watching you, that you're going to fail, they're going to find you out. But the truth is, you must be good at what you do. We had a really lovely conversation about the fact that you just couldn't get away with faking it if he was in that position. And what he used to do to really cover up his anxiety, he would only plan meetings in the afternoon after he'd had a little sneaky glass of wine or a glass of beer, just to calm his nerves down. And I'm like, you know what? You're an incredible person, and I'm going to show you the tools to feel better about you. So if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would love you to join me because I've got some great top tips, some really important messages if you'd like to improve your sense of self-worth, your emotional well-being, how to really lift you from within, so that you don't have to feel that everybody's better than you, okay? And going back to my client, really the purpose of us working together was to help him to feel that amazing authenticity within himself. Because I know, and now he knows, that he's not faking it. He worked hard. He worked through the ranks over many years. And I said, there's something about living on this planet and having real life experiences rather than a document that says you've got a degree, right? Life experiences really hold for a lot of things. So I want to share with you some top tips of what I did to support my client, that amazing CEO, become more successful and more authentic to himself, because this is a really important tool. The first thing is, write down, if you're saying these negative things to yourself, write them down and really look at them and analyze, is this true? For example, if you want to go on a date, right? And you're feeling like you're not slim enough or tall enough or smart enough or whatever it is, really write that down. And I want you to have a conversation with yourself and analyze that statement. Where does this come from? Because the part that said yes, like the CEO of that big British company, there was a part within him that even though there was negativity going on, there was also positivity. I want to do this. I know I can do this. It's that little spark of inspiration. And often, sadly, is that if you're a procrastinator and the imposter syndrome does get to you too much and you feel like you're going to kind of pull back on things, just writing it down, what are you saying to yourself? It's not going to work. They're going to find out. But you know what? Everybody in life has to practice somewhere. And I really believe that self-worth, feeling good about yourself, takes practice. You don't buy it. You can't do anything but feel it first. And when you feel it is when you start to believe in it. Okay? So, first one is write down what you're saying as the first top tip and analyze what you're saying. It's the negative part of your mind that is driving you to those feelings. Then I want you to replace that statement with, I can do this. If you're learning on the job, you're learning on the job. We're all learning on the job, including me. Okay? You know what? This is what's really important, is that you have amazing tools, that inspiration to be in a better space, whether it's that job, that date, whatever, is that part within you, that charismatic, intuitive you is there. And I think that's probably why you're watching this video right now. And I want you to know that this is so important because you can start to bring that personality trait into your everyday life. It just needs practice. So I am a qualified hypnotherapist. I've been hypnotizing people all over the world for a long time. And I know for a fact that this is really the most, I believe, the fundamental, fastest way to shift your thinking away from that imposter syndrome. It's so powerful and it's so quick. You know, maybe you're struggling with something in your life and you just feel you want to make a change, but you feel that you're not good at it. You feel like other people are better at it, that people cope better than you, or, you know, whatever it is. That's imposter syndrome, right? That you feel that you're doing it, but it's not really you, okay? That just takes practice to experience the reality. So in hypnosis, through my programs, Believing in You, or the emotional resilience training program, which is really, really powerful at helping people reduce their anxiety, to get over that hump, right, of imposter syndrome, to be in a better place, to be that authentic, charismatic you. That takes practice. So just as my top tip, number 2, is for you just to take just a few minutes out of your day. You can probably wake in the morning. If there's any of that negative thoughts about your work or your relationship or life or money or whatever it is that's making you feel like you've got the imposter syndrome, okay? Remember, it's a learned behavior. It's not you, it's just one negative part of your thinking that has become like your habit of thought, like a broken record. But you need to break that broken record state. And the quickest way is with hypnosis. There's nothing about hypnosis that you can't do easily right now, okay? It's a natural state of being relaxed, eyes closed, so you can hop into bed or maybe grab a blanket and hop under the blanket and lie back. And I want you to imagine, just imagine what it feels like to go to work and feel safe, to go to work and feel good at what you do. Because the truth is, you got there on some merit. You got there wherever you are now. There is something there that your mind knows that you can do this. It just takes practice, okay? So just with your eyes closed, imagine going through the situation, feeling good, feeling calm, having these beautiful conversations with people, being emotionally intelligent, articulate to your audience, and really start to practice this. And the more you practice this, the more it becomes your reality. Just try it for a few mornings of your week this week, okay? Now, my top number 3, without sounding judgmental, is that the imposter syndrome, other people who are quite negative, don't want certain people to succeed. Now, if you have people in that dynamic, whether it's a work situation, a family situation, a partner, you know what? Really, it comes down to you feeling empowered, feeling good about you, feeling a sense of success, okay? Negative people are going to be everywhere. But it doesn't mean you need to feed them by holding back and keeping your imposter syndrome, okay? This is a learned behavior, okay? It's not you. It never was you. So what do you think about these 3 ways? For example, the third one, dealing with difficult people and deciding for yourself that it's time to be successful. It's time to be authentic to you. So if you have anybody externally that you feel is judgmental or critical, remember it's their issue. It's never to do with you. I'd say this to my sons at school, with any bullies. Bullies are just people who have low self-worth and they don't feel good about themselves. So they want to kind of give their energy out to somebody else. Don't be that person. Stay strong and be true to you. So if you'd like to subscribe to my Emotional Wellbeing podcast, please join me now. I'd love you to come on the journey of really improving your own sense of self-worth, because you really, really are the person for that job, okay? And it starts right here.